Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that be linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. The deal for Rafinha is dead. It's dead. Rafinha on the verge of joining Barcelona for £55 million. That's £10 million less, actually, than what Chelsea offered. Chelsea offered, put £65 million down on the table, but Rafinha was always determined to go to Barcelona, and he has got his move for less money. Less money for Leeds, but that's where the player wants to go. He doesn't want to go anywhere else, and Leeds are like, we just need to take the money and move on. Listen, big up to Arsenal. They tried, they tried a move, you know what I mean? Because really and truly, he always wanted to go to Barcelona. Barcelona had apparently been talking to him for quite a while, even before the transfer window officially opened. However, Arsenal thought to themselves, where are Barcelona going to get the money from? Let's try and move in and, see if we can, get this deal done. Unfortunately, Barcelona came back, somehow found the money, and he is going to be joining Barcelona. But who are Arsenal going to get instead? This seems to be the guy that, if he did come in, a lot of people might be saying, well, Rafinha who? We're happy with this guy, Lucas Paqueta. Heavily linked still with Arsenal. The biggest rumour around at the moment. There's a lot of talk that both Edu and Mikel Arteta have both signed off on this and said, right, yes, he's the guy that we want. As we know, midfielder, very versatile, can play on the right, can play left, he can play centrally, he can play deep, and he is a top quality player, a regular Brazilian international. In fact, more of a regular Brazilian international than Rafinha. Would be a great signing, but can they get this done? Of course, Lyon, they always drive a hard bargain. They've seen the sort of money that Rafinha's gone for, and they're like, well, Arsenal, you can have him, £68 million. I don't think Arsenal are going to get anywhere near to that, then, and I don't think Lucas Paqueta is worth that, and lots of negotiations are going to have to go on if this deal does get done. Arsenal could move and just get Tielemans, and it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens. But certainly, especially Edu with his Brazilian connections, seems to have an interest here. The rumours are not dying away. We know that Lyon are willing to let him leave this summer, but only if the price is right. Could the fact that, Lacazette went back there from Arsenal, could that help smooth relations? I don't know. We've dealt with Lyon before. It can be done. But let's see how that one works out. But Lucas Paqueta still being heavily linked with a move to Arsenal today, as is this guy, SERGEJ Milinkovic-Savic. Now, there's a publication called 2 to Juve. They claim that Arsenal are willing to offer 50 million euros, that's £42.3 million, to land the Serbian midfielder. Excellent box-to-box midfielder. Last season, 11 goals and 11 assists for Lazio. He's nicknamed the Sergeant because he is so commanding in midfield. That is what Arsenal are willing to offer. However, Lazio seem to be looking for around about 70 million euros, which is around about £53.9 million. Now, again, a lot of money. He's their star player, their star man. In years gone by, they've been quoting up to 100 million for Milinkovic-Savic. It would be a very difficult deal to get done. It would be a top quality player. I question if Milinkovic-Savic came in, surely Arsenal would have to maybe sell a midfielder, like maybe a Granit Xhaka or somebody like that would have to go, because whilst we are short in midfield, we'd be really stacked in midfield, and especially box-to-box midfielders, because basically Milinkovic-Savic, that's the position Xhaka plays in. Partey's box-to-box. I'd love him. He would be absolute quality. I've watched him play many times. He's a top quality player. But is it a deal that Arsenal will do this summer? Certainly, again, would cost a hell of a lot of money. when you look at the Yuri Tielemans option, which is a lot cheaper, do Arsenal move for Milinkovic-Savic, or do they go Tielemans, or do they stick with what they've got? Let's see what happens. Now, this rumour's not going away. Gabriel Magalhaes, he keeps getting linked with a move to Juventus. We know that Juventus are on the verge of losing Matthias de Ligt, who looks like he's going to be joining Bayern Munich, and they have identified Gabriel as their #1 target. According to Calcio Mercato Web, which is an Italian publication, they're saying that Juventus are willing to offer £25 million plus players. The players they're offering are Adrian Rabiot and Arthur Melo on loan. So Rabiot would be a straight deal. You know, you get Rabiot plus 25 million and Arthur Melo on loan for Gabriel. If I was Arsenal, I'd just be like, yeah, do one. You know what I mean? Forget that. We are not selling Gabriel. Gabriel is such an important player for Arsenal. Had a great season last year. Solid defender. Solid defender who's going to get better. Remember, he's still a very young guy. And also, he contributed last season brilliantly with a lot of goals as well from set pieces. So I can't see Arsenal selling him. It would take an absolute king's ransom, which, of course, at the moment you can see Juventus are not willing to pay that. £25 million plus Rabiot and Melo. Forget it. Arsenal still being linked with AMADOU ONANA, this giant of a midfielder, still only 20, the Lille midfielder, defensive midfielder. West Ham have already had a bid for him rejected. Arsenal said to be interested in signing him. Again, it would be a prospect because, you know, he's still only 20 years of age. But when you see the size of this guy, you know, his build alone, you look at it and say, yeah, you're made for the Premier League. I don't know a lot about him because I haven't really seen him play, but Arsenal's still being heavily linked with him. Now, what about players that could be leaving? Leno, you know, a couple of days ago I said was on the verge of a move to Fulham. There was talk yesterday that he's, and also today that, you know, moves on the verge of collapsed. Arsenal looking for around about £11 million for him. Fulham want to pay less. Fulham, this guy is a German international. I know he's only got 1 year left on his contract, but he's a German international. He's a top goalkeeper. £11 million for him is an absolute steal. But negotiations still carrying on for Leno. Leno will hope to get this deal done as soon as possible. All these teams in the Premier League at the moment flying out for their pre-season friendlies at various different places. They want to get the players in place and get them ready for the start of the season, especially their primary targets. And Leno has been a primary target for Fulham. But can this deal be negotiated? Arsenal will be keen to get this one done. Fulham, of course, will know that Arsenal have already bought in a backup goalkeeper in Matt Turner. And they'll be thinking to themselves, well, yeah, let's play hardball. What are you going to do? Be stuck with 3 keepers? Smart by Fulham, but I still expect this one to get done. Fulham also interested in following Balogun. Now, Balogun, of course, we know was on loan last season at Middlesbrough. A very, very talented player, but needs more game time. Now, are Arsenal going to be willing to loan him out again this season? As I said, Fulham apparently interested in loaning him with an option to buy. I don't think that would be something that Arsenal will be up for with the option, because remember, Arsenal only just signed him down to a new contract last season. But a loan to Fulham, a Premier League club, that might not be a bad move for following Balogun. Or do we keep him? Remember, striker-wise, at the moment, it's Gabriel Jesus and Eddie Nketiah. That's it. If one of them get injured, there's nothing in reserve. That's why, personally, I feel we should be buying another striker. You know, I spoke yesterday about the links with Dembele. I'm like, to me, that makes perfect sense. But would Balogun, should he be loaned out to Fulham, or do we keep him? I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments, because he is being linked with a move to Fulham today. We're still being linked with N'Golo Kante. Those links are still flying around. Apparently, Chelsea would accept £16.9 million for Kante. He's 31 now, as we know. But he's still a midfield dynamo. Has picked up a lot of injuries. Had quite a few injuries last season. But for £16.9 million, would you get Kante? You know what? I think I would. The only thing is, I somehow just don't think Chelsea would want to sell him to Arsenal. But that's what they're asking for, £16.9 million for N'Golo Kante. He's 31, but it looks like to me one of these players that keeps himself supremely fit and can keep going for years. And he's a quality player. He's won everything in the game. Or would Arsenal go for a younger player, who's this midfielder, who was brilliant in the England under-20 success recently, and that is KARNEY CHUKWUEMEKA of Aston Villa. I spoke about this one a couple of weeks ago, how, you know, his contract, he's only got 1 year left. Villa have got a decision to make. He hasn't yet signed a new deal. Villa have been pressing him for a new deal. There are a load of clubs right around Europe, including Bayern Munich, Leipzig, all those clubs over in Germany, really interested in him. He is a top player. They've seen what Dortmund have done with Jude Bellingham, and, you know, they're trying to repeat the trick. Some of those German clubs, a lot of English clubs after him as well, including Arsenal, and he's a very, very good player. But what will happen with him, again, it's one of these ones we have to wait and see how that pans out. For me, if it was doable, it would be very cheap, and he's a player for the future. He is very, very good. Thanks for watching the show today. Don't forget to check out the Claude Cup. The final is out. It's brilliant. Commentary by me and Lee Judges. So check that out. There's a link at the end of this video to get involved and watch that. And also check out all of our great content as well around Arsenal. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.